Hi, I'm Elizabeth Ketzner-Bloom, and I'm the Director of Development and Administration for the Compass Experience, and I am here talking with DeAndre Harris, who is a former student of ours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I most wanted to ask you about kind of your personal experience with everything going on, your opinions of all of the issues we're going through as a nation and even our community. Kind of what do you see when you see protests and arguments over justice and just the struggle in our community?
Well, pretty much how I look at it is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in terms of, what we've been doing since the civil rights time, and even before, even with the women's rights. They were fighting for the right to vote. They were protesting. Protests are good. It brings awareness. It brings notoriety to the what's going on. But my whole entire thing is, protests shouldn't be the end all be all. Like, people got to go to work sometime. My whole entire thing is you have to have a destination with it. So if you're going to protest, that's perfectly fine. But as soon as you bring awareness to the problem, there should be a plan B, as well as plan C, and next steps to the evolution of what you want to change, because change really comes from laws.
Awareness is one thing, and that's good, but it's not that we're not aware. We've been aware. Awareness has actually probably already been, this is more of a reminder. What would be the next solution? I mean,
people have been aware. People have been, okay, all right, they see it, they know about it. The next step is, all right, so if you know about it, gain information about it. It's all about, studying. It's kind of like, see, if I'm a Christian, when you know God, you can, hear about him, you can, but when you know him, it's a different type of thing. So you have to know about, this and that. It's hard work. And that's why a lot of people don't want to do it. But the next generation after us, those are the ones that are going to really change. I really think it's a class thing. I mean, it's racial too, don't get me wrong. But I also think that, when it comes down to class, like, it all comes from us. White, black, it all comes from us.
Man, I have so many things I want to comment. I think I agree with what you're saying, that you have to educate yourself to make sure that, let me make sure that I say this right. Not educate yourself like when you see a man of any color getting killed by someone in power, I don't think that we need to educate ourselves on his history and why he deserved that.
Exactly.
That's not what I mean by educate. I think that it's important to educate yourself, myself, on what historically led up to a lot of the mindsets that exist within the people in power. And it's important for adults to become aware and to speak up, and like you said, but then you said we have to make sure we think about the next generation. I know that you've had your own experience with Compass, and it was a good one, obviously, but I am excited that you were talking about the next generation, talking about how, I know previously you said that you wish that you had something like this when you were younger, because although you don't know if you would have been mature enough to absorb it the way you did, you felt like it could have given you opportunities in your younger years where you would have been able to really adapt what you had learned. So we now have our middle school program, the Cash and Career program, where we partner with local businesses over the summer and partner with local banks. So we teach them financial literacy, and then we teach them on-the-job, real job experience with local business. So we're supporting local banks, we're supporting local business owners, and then we teach them in the classroom about leadership, about themselves, about conflict resolution, because you can't just go blow up on a customer just because you don't like something they said to you, and that's how you could lose a job. And a lot of times what we're seeing is that, and educators do so much already, and parents do so much, but what we're seeing is there is a lack in some of these skills that's not really being addressed. And also, there's not really any kind of emphasis on getting to know themselves. And you were talking about the African proverb. I can't remember it. If you remember it.
Yeah. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
Right. So I think that I love that. It supports kind of what I'm saying is teaching them about themselves, teaching them about their personality, their learning style, their emotional intelligence, and really getting to know what their personality is like, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, so that we can get to know them as individuals, find ways to foster their really good traits, find ways to temper and curb their weaknesses. It's about modeling that leadership. It's about teaching them about themselves, teaching them about like their interactions. Their personal responsibility will lead to their social responsibility, will lead to social change. And I think that that's kind of like a source root solution to kind of the challenges that you were talking about.
But it's very important because, you know, that self-doubt, that self-esteem, those self-esteem issues that children face, it can really help them, because I'm no stranger to it, you know, feeling a certain type of way and not being able to, you know, really relay that, but having it understood, having the ability to cope with it in terms of like mechanisms or terms of how to speak on it. I mean, if I had that, you know, a lot of people I believe would be a lot further, you know, in terms of success, in their success and know who they were. So yeah, I mean, when you see a child, when you see a kid, you're looking at the future. That's literally what the future will be like and look like, you know, 20 years from now, 30 years from now.
So we have a responsibility.
And we can change that. If we don't like how it is now, teach the children, you know what I'm saying, in the ways that, you know what I'm saying, and then you'll have the world that you want. It's that simple to me.
There's a saying that when there's an injury to one, there's an injury to all. And we believe that if more people had that understanding, we could achieve a lot more as a human race. And that's why Compass wants to be pouring into our students and be raising up those leaders with that understanding, so that in the future, when we have these injuries that may not be to us personally, we have leaders that are going to step in and treat it as it is, and we'll be able to do so much more for our communities all across America.